So joining us again is Bruce Castor. Bruce, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. All right, so you had raised this issue of the lottery being a potential legal concern, but what do you make of the fact that it's coming from the Philadelphia DA?
Well, I think Dan, you have to recognize the more important question here, and that is that the District Attorney of Philadelphia, the far left progressive District Attorney of Philadelphia, who was actually impeached in Pennsylvania, is watching your show and listening to my ideas. So that's the important takeaway from all this. This is how he gets his news, listening to me talking on your show.
But he says, and this is a statement from Krasner, the Philadelphia DA is charged with protecting the public from public nuisances and unfair trade practices, including illegal lotteries. The DA is also charged with protecting the public from interference with the integrity of elections. What do you make of the fact that a local DA is filing a civil lawsuit against Musk in connection with that?
I think it's pretty silly. I think the people who watch your show from around the country might not recognize that the district attorney of a county in Pennsylvania has only authority over criminal matters and not over civil matters. When I moved from the DA's office to the Attorney General's office, I all of a sudden went from being only a criminal prosecutor and investigator to one that did civil cases too. I would be interested to know where DA Krasner is getting his legal advice that he's allowed to file a civil lawsuit on behalf of the Commonwealth, because I'm not so sure that he can. I mean, if it's a lottery, it's a potential violation of the criminal law. He should be advancing a citation against Mr. Musk that this is a criminal violation. And, I think it's a gimmick. I think the whole thing is a gimmick. I think Musk recognizes that it's a gimmick and he's laughing about it. And somebody forgot to tell Krasner that this is a joke. And eventually Congress or the General Assembly will step in and stop this thing. But if Elon Musk gets sued by Larry Krasner, my friend George Paquetto and I are available to defend him because we got him impeached in the front of the House of Representatives.
Well, but is there any hope that Krasner could get some sort of temporary relief, that a court might step in now to tell Musk to stop, at least temporarily?
I don't see how. I mean, Krasner would have to go to federal court. He'd have to go to federal court in Philadelphia for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. And I just don't see a federal judge in the Eastern District issuing an injunction that would be good nationwide or outside the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Mr. Musk has time to respond, gets to file an answer, gets to brief it and argue it, and by then the election will be over. This is silliness, and we need a little bit of amusement in the election, and I'm sure Congress will step in and stop this sort of thing. But Mr. Musk is certainly taking it lightly, as it should be. I don't think that he's trying to affect an election, but it doesn't look good. And as I said on your program before, I don't think we should be doing this.
Right, but he's definitely trying to impact the election. I mean, he's not giving away $9 million and soon maybe $20 million for a laugh.
I don't think that anybody who gets that money or signs that petition has an undecided bone in their body.
Well, that may be true, but he's certainly hoping that people register, right? Regardless of the legalities for a moment, he's certainly hoping that people register who have a tendency to vote for Trump.
I think that's true. I think he probably does.
Yeah.
But I would have handled it just like the Department of Justice handled it. I'd have told him to knock it off. And after the election, I would have gone back and decided whether there were any civil fines or penalties that ought to be imposed. And I'd go to Congress and ask them to tighten the law. And I wouldn't do what Larry Krasner did.
And again, I should remind people that, Bruce Castor was a very straight shooter about this when he was on the show last time. He said he thinks that there are real legal questions here about what Elon Musk is doing. The question is just, how do you deal with them? Bruce Castor, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it.
Happy to be on the show.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.